Dear student, in the last video I have covered diffraction by single slit and I have shown that how the intensity varies along with the theta, okay, or rather alpha. Here now we have two slits. Here let this be A, B and C, D. Both the slits are of equal width, their width is D, and the slits are separated by a gap of length B. Now a plane progressive wave is incident on the plane, rays are coming in parallel rays which are coming from infinity. That means the wavefront is plane. So I have got here a wavefront and here a wavefront, plane wavefront. So as in a single slit, same thing here. I have kept a convex lens and a screen at the focal plane of the convex lens. So here the rays, here all the points on the wavefronts are acting as secondary wavelets. So from the secondary sources, all the waves, the rays can move in different directions. So I am interested only in the parallel rays of diffracted at different angle. So here the rays are diffracted angle at a theta. So since I am interested what is happening at infinity, so I am interested in the parallel set of rays. Now from both the wavefront, these rays are falling on the lens and they are converging at a point P. Okay. So what will be the intensity of the P? I am interested in that. Now here again also you need not know the derivations, just the final figure. So the amplitude of all the rays which are coming from the wavefront AB and CD and the parallel beam which are diffracted at an angle theta, if they converge at the point P, then their combined amplitude will be 2AD sine alpha by alpha into cos beta, and intensity will be its square, so 4A square D square sine square alpha by alpha square cos square beta. Now you know what is A, what is D, and alpha also we have yesterday seen pi D sine theta by lambda, and here beta is pi D plus B sine theta by lambda. Okay, so my D is the width of the slit and B is the gap of the slit. So this is the intensity if I use two double slits here. Okay. Now here one thing is very important, that there are two wavefronts. So here from the rays from the same wavefronts are superposing and rays from the two different wavefronts are also superposing. So here diffraction and interference both are taking place. Here interference and diffraction as per their definition both are taking place because the rays, these three rays if we consider, they are from the same wavefront, and these three rays they are from the different wavefront. So they all six are superposing. There are innumerable rays. I am showing here only six. These six rays are converging at the point P or superposing at P. So this ray and this ray, superposition of this ray and this ray will be treated as interference, whereas these three rays, I will say when they are superposing here, then that will be diffraction. So at the point P, I will say both are taking place, diffraction as well as interference. Now this is the formula of intensity at the point P, where your alpha and beta is given by this. So again that intensity is a function of alpha and beta, where alpha and beta are functions of theta. That means intensity is function of theta again. Okay. So as my angle of diffraction changes, position of the point P will also change. If the angle of theta changes, the position of the point P will also change. So accordingly on the screen the intensity will vary. Now let us see where I will get maxima and minima. So here you see if theta is equal to 0. So for central maxima, if theta is equal to 0, then I am getting beta and alpha both are 0, isn't it? If theta is equal to 0. So, one more thing here. This term sine square alpha by alpha square term is the diffraction term and cos square beta is the interference term. You have already seen in the case of intensity that cos square term comes in the case of interference, and this I have seen that this is due to diffraction we got in the single slit case. So here this term is for diffraction and this term is for interference. Now the intensity variation is shown here. If theta is equal to 0, the condition for central maximum, if theta is equal to 0, then my alpha will be 0 and beta will be 0. So sin alpha by alpha, limit alpha tends to 0, limit alpha tends to 0 is equal to 1, and cos beta, if beta is equal to 0, is 1. Okay. So when theta is 0, I am getting cos beta as 1 and sin alpha by alpha also 1. So intensity I is equal to becoming 4 a square d square, that is 4 I0. Okay. So here I am getting, actually it is 4 a square d square. A square d square I am saying as I0. So it is 4 a square d square. So 4 times of the intensity obtained due to single slit. Do you remember for the principal maxima in single slit it was only a square d square, but here it is 4 a square d square. So 4 times increase in the intensity of the principal maxima. That means here at the point here O, where all the rays which are coming parallel, that means theta is 0, they are converging here. So here I am getting the principal maxima, and its intensity will be 4 a square d square, that is 4 times more than the intensity for principal maxima for single slit. Now for condition for minima, let us consider the diffraction minima. Okay, diffraction minima means when this term will be 0, that means sin alpha is 0 but alpha is not equal to 0. That we have already seen, that alpha is 0 but sin alpha is not 0. That is condition for diffraction minima. So if sin alpha is equal to 0 and alpha is not equal to 0 is the condition for minima, and that is pi d sin theta by lambda. Alpha is equal to, that means alpha is equal to m plus minus m pi. If sin alpha is equal to 0, that means alpha is equal to m pi, where m is equal to 1, 2, 3, etc. So from there I find that sin theta is equal to m lambda. This is the condition for minima, diffraction minima. Okay. These are that we are already seen, that the diffraction minima. And for interference minima, where cos beta is equal to 0, so beta is equal to 2n plus 1 pi by 2. So if beta is equal to, if I put the value of beta, I am getting this. So condition is d plus b sin theta is equal to n plus 1 half lambda. When this condition is satisfied, there I will get the value of theta for which this condition is satisfied, I will get the minima. And condition for interference maxima means cos beta is equal to 1 or cos square beta is equal to 1, so beta is equal to plus minus n pi. So d plus b sin theta is equal to n lambda. This give me the condition for interference maxima. Okay. So now if I see what will be the shape of the fringes, so you know that cos square beta terms, the interference fringes should have been like this. That we have already seen. So this is my 1. This is intensity. So this is cos square beta terms. It is beta. Okay. So it is getting maxima and minima with cos square beta maximum value is 1. But sin square alpha by alpha square, that is one more term is there. That is like this. We have already seen. This is the graph sin square beta, sin square alpha by alpha square, and this is the graph for cos square beta. Now if you multiply these two, then you will see this intensity, this value will get modulated by this graph. If I multiply these two, the resultant effect is sin square alpha by alpha square into cos square beta. So the resultant intensity is the multiplication of these two. So here see the value is 1, but here the value is less than 1. So if you multiply, say here this value is 0.75, okay, and here the value is 1. So if you multiply these two, what will be the result? 0.75, isn't it? So that this intensity then will be get modulated by this term. So the resultant fringes will look like this. These are my interference fringes. Here I am getting interference fringes modulated by the diffraction curve. So here in case of double slit interference, I got fringes of equal intensity. Here this is my intensity, okay. So this is interference term, but since there is a diffraction also, so finally this intensity will not be equal, it will be modulated by this graph. So its value will get reduced and it will look like, I will see these fringes, interference fringes I will see, but I will see that their intensity is varying. That means here there are some bright fringes of which a reducing intensity. Again I will see some set of interference fringes, but their intensity is much less and it is modulated by the diffraction curve. Now we are going for